Hey everybody, welcome back to JT channel and welcome to something a whole lot different. I was gonna say a little different, but a whole lot different because I don't know how many of you know this. I'm not sure how often I advertise it on the channel. I don't think I talk about it very often, but I was actually in the military. I was in the Navy for 4 years, from 2012 to 2016. Now, some of you were like, what? That's just, you're just gonna start a video with that? And we didn't even know. But there's a reason we're talking about this. First things first, let me move out of the way behind me, that is the ship I was on. It's an aircraft carrier. It is called the John C. Stennis. No, I don't know who that is. I don't care. I'm sure I learned about him when I was in the Navy, but at the time I went into the military because my parents, who cannot stand each other, got in the same room to tell me that I need to fix my life. I'm sorry, this camera angle seems to be wrong. My phone is crooked, hang on. Hopefully that's better. Anyway, my mom and my dad, who again cannot stand one another, got in the same room in 2011 to tell me that I need to do something better with my life. And they both suggested the military, so we went on to a recruiting website or something, and we looked at the options. We discussed the Army. We discussed the Air Force. We discussed the Marines, and everybody had a good laugh because there's no way I would have made it in the Marines. And then we discussed the Navy. And after a lot of, I'll say after a lot of soul searching, which there was a lot of soul searching. Like, if I'm going to go to the military, what branch do I want to be in? But before that, to be completely honest with you guys, and if any of my former shipmates are watching this, news for you, we called the Air Force recruiter, and I was talking to him over the phone. Everything was going really good, but out of habit, he asked about my medical history, and I mentioned that I had asthma. I had an asthma attack when I was 10. I think I was 10 when I had my asthma attack. And he was like, well, that automatically disqualifies you from the military in general. So we hung up, and we all were like, oh no. So then I went to the Navy recruiting office, and we just didn't tell him I had asthma. I know, it's like super dangerous. But at this point in my life, 2011, 2012, so I was old enough. I graduated high school in 2009, so I was in my 20s, almost my 20s at least. No, I was 20. Sorry, I'm dumb. My asthma was pretty good at that point in my life. So I just figured it wasn't a big deal. Didn't need to talk about it. So I went in, did the thing, and went into I don't know what else to tell you guys. I don't want this to be a long expose video. The point is, I did join the Navy in 2012. Went to boot camp, spent 4 years on that. This video, this picture, the stuff we're about to watch will never do it justice. At the time, from 2012 to 2016, the John C. Stennis CVN 74, in case you're curious, was the biggest carrier in the country. It was the standard bearer. It was the biggest one. I don't know how the hell I ended up on that. Nowadays, I think there's a new one. Don't ask me what it's called. I don't know. Again, I don't really care. I used to be really excited, but I think the new one is bigger than this one, which is insane. If you could be on the Stennis, walk around the flight deck and the hangar bay, and then hear, oh, we're building a bigger one, your brain just melted right then and there. So anyway, I'm just going to name drop him. I watch Narrator. He's one of the boys who I talk about all the time on this channel. He was in the Army for 4 years. I think before I was in the Navy or after, I don't really know. But he reacts to funny military videos. And I thought that'd be fun to do on this channel too. Yes, I'm stealing content. What else is new? Everyone steals content. But at first it was going to be reacting to military stuff. And I was like, I was only in the Navy. I may not understand other jokes. Like, we were watching one of his military memes videos, and I was watching it with like a dumb face because I'm like, I don't understand half this stuff. So then I decided, we'll react to some Navy memes. That'll be fun. I'll understand most of those at least. Ha ha ha. And then a memory clicked. Something up here went, hold on just a second. You know, it's the Yoda of memories. The old man coming out of a cave going, do you remember the story that the Stennis very briefly had a YouTube channel. And by very briefly, I mean there are only like 20 videos on this channel, maybe less. You can look it up yourself. USS John C. Stennis at 74 Stennis. The oldest video is 11 years ago. The newest video is 9 years ago. So what we're gonna do, this is so dumb. I'm so happy we're doing this. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna watch some of these videos. Some of these I've seen, some of these I don't recall, and I'll kind of discuss with you guys what's in them. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of scoot out of the way, try to set up this video properly. It was a pain. I'll scoot out of the way. We're gonna watch videos and we'll talk about them and stuff. The first video I wanna show you guys is us pulling out of port. It's only like 40 seconds, maybe less. Let me pull it up. Okay, so this was, as you can see there, but if you're not watching out, this is the Stennis departs for sea trials. So 10 years ago, it'd be 2015. And at this point, we were on dry dock, which meant, let me scoot a little closer, I feel like I look ridiculous, which meant that we were just sitting in port, running drills and fixing the ship up to go on a future deployment. And I think we went into that in sometime in 2013, 2014. So in 2015, we were just leaving to go test how the ship went. And this is kind of what that looked like. Well, it is what that looked like. Yeah, see, after 16 months of hard work, 16 months, we were just sitting there. We were back underway. Again, we just were in dock fixing the ship. That's a port, Bremerton, Washington is where I was stationed. Like an hour from Seattle. I think I'm not out here or anything. There's Seattle in the background. Yeah. So that's all that was. Again, I have a child on me. I can't get into the frame. So all that was going out to sea just far enough away from like land, I guess, from Washington, to do circles and figure eights. That's all we would do is circles and figure eights. It was cool though. It was fun. The next video I want to show you guys is interesting. We'll talk about it. Hold on. Okay, I have my child with me now. I'm going to scoot in the frame again. Before we get to the interesting video, I'm sorry if I led you on. This will be interesting too, don't get me wrong. But this is a flight deck time lapse. I haven't watched this yet. I want to see it. Where my my room, I can't remember, barracks is the wrong word, but the room I was staying in on the ship, yeah, where our bunks were located, was directly below the end of the flight deck where they would launch the jets. So literally what would happen is while we were trying to sleep, we could hear the jets start to launch, come all the way up, and then they would launch just above our heads. So I'm curious to see what this time lapse looks like. How did it work during flight deck certifications? This is 2014. So I was there, but I didn't do any of this. So, but you can see when they launch like that, we're over there. We're way down there at the end of the launch. So we'd hear that every night while we were trying to sleep. I got used to it real fast. It's cool. I haven't relived this stuff in a long time. Yeah, we're up there. My barracks. So I want to stop this while I had a chance. I guess you don't need to see me. It's not really important. But these little these lines here, there's cables in them that would hook onto the jets and would help them launch off the front of the ship. And then you can see there's one way up. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but they would launch off the ship. Our barracks were literally like right around here, underneath. I keep saying barracks. It's just the word I know. Our bunks, our bunk room, whatever, was under here. So you would hear with this. I can't even describe the noise, but you'd hear the cable launch, drop, and the jet just take off, and it was crazy. It's kind of helped me in the long run because there goes Brooklyn, because we just moved to an apartment near the airport, so it's like commercial planes are not flying over our apartment, and for me it's nothing compared to how loud this was. So I can tell that this isn't really all that legible. You guys can kind of see it, but again, I'm here to tell you. It says somebody's got to do it with Mike Rome. So Mike Rome, if you don't know who he is, he used to host a show called Dirty Jobs. I don't think he does it anymore. He still hosts like gross job stuff. He does like ads, like commercials for cleaning out gutters or basements. But he also had a show called Somebody's Gotta Do It, where he would go, same idea, like Dirty Jobs. He would go be like, someone's got to do this. And I was actually here, and I think I met him, but I'm not sure. But let's watch this here.
Because I host a show called Somebody's Gotta Do It. And the premise of the show is to go around the country looking for people who basically keep civilization on the rails, who love what they do, and who are helped to do it. And in my experience, the best place to find people like that.
For the record, he was one of the very few people that I remember celebrity-wise that came on our ship that was allowed to wear like this, one of the cool like captain's almost hats with like the ranks and everything, and our stupid little catchphrase, look ahead. That was our thing, look ahead. I thought it was cool back then, I really did.
Places like this. When I think about what it takes to make a carrier work, my brain shuts down a little bit because it's just too big. So the only way I can make sense of what you guys do day in, day out is to meet as many of you as I can individually and just get a sense of who you are.
So, just kind of a fun fact here. I was in that room multiple times because I would have to go grab one of my friends, and a girl I briefly dated when I was in the Navy worked in here, and like she's super into her job, so when her time was up, a lot of people would just have me go with her replacement to go get her. So this is, again, he's a celebrity, so he got to just visit every single spot. He got to work in the kitchen. That was our XO for a long time. He was a cool dude. I'll tell you guys a really funny story about him later, but let's keep watching. I don't know if I've ever watched this all the way through. Try to fix the camera's crooked again.
Where you're from, what you do, and why you do it. And that's, I think, what makes our show a little different. All the jobs are interesting, especially in an environment like this, because all the jobs are connected. It makes my job challenging, because shows like Dirty Jobs, and Somebody's Gotta Do It, they're actually very individualistic shows.
See, Dirty Jobs mentioned.
Try and find people and see what makes them tick. But yours is an organization that's based on a team. The challenge for the guys with the cameras is to figure out, how can we show the viewer.
Okay. This sucked. This sucked. I think it was called it might have been called the flight deck walk. There's a special name for it. I apologize if there's anybody in the Navy out there who remembers what this was called. But basically, the whole point was a bunch of people ran up here. I only did it, I think, once the entire time I was in the Navy. But you ran up there and you stood on one side of the flight deck and you walked slowly the entire length, both directions, to find trash. This only happened like once a week. I don't think it was every single day because it was hard to do every day. I mean, sometimes you were doing flight drills or whatever. But yeah, you can see the people in the sweatshirts and everything. Those are mostly flight deck people. These are people that specifically worked on the flight deck. You could go up there if you worked in the hangar bay or lower, but believe me, there was a lot lower. This motherfucker's huge, I'm telling you. I just realized the camera's off again. I'm trying. This is hard. But yeah, so for the most part, you had to be part of the flight deck, but I think in the back, there's other people, and I'm pretty sure I did it at least once myself.
That this team is a collection of individual humans doing very specific jobs. You guys do this day in, day out. And for me,
General quarters. Okay, let's see if I can remember what I can tell you about this. So, and I haven't been told I can't talk about this stuff. Like, this isn't redacted information. It's on a damn YouTube channel, so. But general quarters is basically, if we were to be under attack, everyone had to get to a station. These were like the important guys. They got like the scuba diving stuff and the hats and the cool, I say they're cool, these outfits. They actually were kind of cool, I can't lie, putting on not scuba, SCBA, self-contained breathing apparatus. Good Lord, I still remember that. But it was all part of that kind of stuff. It was a drill we'd run about once a month. They would try to let you know, like our higher ups, like our chiefs or our first classes would try to be like, hey guys, heard a rumor, GQ this week, GQ tomorrow, GQ in a few hours, whatever, so that you knew. Everyone had to know how to do this, but this wasn't my job. I was communications. So if GQ was called, I had to run to a communications room, put on a headset, and push buttons and talk to people to make sure everyone was communicating. And I was somewhere near the end of the line. So like, this person talked to this person, talked to this person, and then talk to me, and then I would tell someone else, and it'd go like that.
I spend a lot of my time uncomfortable because
those things are heavy.
Trying to do things I'm not trained or qualified to do, but I'm always surrounded by people who are like the best at it in the world.
Oh, can't see it now. Hang on.
It gets me.
That's fine.
The level of responsibility assumed by my kids, 19, 20, 21 years old.
Yep, I was in my 20s.
Just freaks me out. Especially like when you're out on the flight deck, because you see people, they're wrapped up in their vests and their heads, and they're hidden. And all of a sudden, all that comes off, and you're looking at a kid 3 years out of high school. You're out here months at a time, away from people you love. You've affirmatively chosen to do a hard thing. I mean, it's hard to talk about it without sounding either like a recruiting ad or just repeating stuff that everybody's always said. So, what else can you say with thanks? If you want to feel better about the country that you're living in, you hang out with 5,000 people at a ship like this.
I'll leave it on Mike Rome's face. So yeah, that was pretty cool when he came to visit. It was always cool when celebrities came to visit because they always looked for the best things about us, looked for the best things about the ship. And I got to meet a few of them. I want to say, I can see his face, Guy Fieri, I think, visited. I think Bobby Flay visited. Obviously Mike Rome did. There's a comedian, a chick, who's somewhat popular now. I can't remember her name. She played, she had a show there. We had lots, but quick story, because it's not on here. WWE actually came to visit the ship in 2014. If you want to know how long ago that was, obviously Vince McMahon was there. The Miz was there. R-Truth was there and kept making jokes about Little Jimmy, so we're living in that time. And Lay Cool was there. Layla and... no, it wasn't Lay Cool. It was Layla. But I can't remember who the... Melina. Layla and Melina were there. So, transport yourself back to 2014. Obviously, at the time, I was a huge fan of everybody. I got to shake hands with all 5 of them. Vince McMahon had one of the strongest handshakes that to this day I've ever felt in my life. I may not be a fan of the guy now for obvious reasons, but man, he could shake a hand. And at the time, it was the coolest thing ever. And I think we did pictures 5 at a time. I wish I could find my picture. I don't know where the hell it is. But because there were 5 superstars. Counting, 4 superstars and a Vince. 5 people would come up and then would line up. And since I was the first in the group, I went straight up to Melina, walked down to Vince, and then got to sit, kneel in front of Vince McMahon to take the picture. It was super cool. Okay, hopefully you guys can read that. I know it's in cursive, but that says Stennis Idol. It's another fun story I want to tell you guys. So, how long ago was this video? 10 years ago, so it's 2015. During one of our at sea things where we were just hanging out at sea, the Stennis decided to hold a little tournament, Stennis Idol, just like American Idol. You sang a song and qualified or whatever. I want to quickly apologize if you guys hear a lot of noise. This is our first weekend in this apartment complex and we don't know what to expect, so apologies ahead. But anyway, I did try out for this. I tried out. I cannot remember what song I sang. It was like an easy song to sing, like an acoustic song or something. And I messed the lyrics up. I practiced it several times before I got in line. And then what happened was you got in line outside this like makeshift office box they made. They just kind of built it out of nowhere. You walked in, you met everybody, you turned around, and then you sang, and then you walked out. And all I know is I got the lyrics backwards. Like I got the first lyric right. You only had like 30 seconds. And then I messed up the order of the next couple of lyrics, so I didn't make it. But this was cool. Let's see, you get a picture here at the stage. Yeah, so I knew her, I knew him. Yeah, I knew both of them. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you their names. If you can read it, don't. But this was the stage setup for if you made it to the next round. And the finals, you got to play with a band, which was, you know, obviously, I'm a huge music guy. So one of my dreams was to, like, do this. That'd have been super cool. I can't remember what you won for it, if anything. I think it was just kind of something to do because we were on, like, a underway or whatever. It was cool. I think there's a couple people back here that I'm pretty sure I recognize. I mean, I was with these guys, 5,000 people for 4 years. Some of them obviously left or whatever, but I still recognize some of them. But yeah, that was something really fun we did. I don't think there's anything else in this video that's that important. I just want to show you guys this.
Wait a minute, you're telling me it's 7:10, not 6:40? When we late for quarters?
They're making a joke about this. This could not be less funny.
Need a quick snack.
Those things are lifesavers. Those little
Just for a
machines.
game. Morning, sir.
That's not a real thing.
You're still late for quarters. Moving on.
Okay, so a couple things here. Couple things. We're gonna go back. This, waking up and thinking it's one time and it's the other is way too real. That's why everyone had like sync up their phones and their watches and crap. Everyone was like, get up, get on time, whatever. There was like a latest time in my little room, and this is, do not get it wrong. You need to, let's see. These are the beds, okay? There's 3 beds stacked on top of each other. I'm 5'11", okay? I barely fit in one of those things because they are 6 feet. They are 6 feet long and like 4 feet tall, maybe. Not even 4. It's like 3 feet tall at max. So when there were some bigger guys that are like 6'4" and muscular and they had to sleep in those things, nuh-uh. Don't. And then these little lockers, I don't see in this video where the lockers really are. They're like actual lockers that are inside your rooms. And your bed was also a locker. You had like a little key that unlocked both. So you could like put stuff under your bed, like stuff you can like get up, open your bed up real quick, grab and go. So that's like where you put like your hat, your toothbrush, stuff like that. So you could just make it quick and get to quarters on time. That's what it's called. Okay, this need a quick snack part. These things, oh my God. So obviously you get paid to be in the military and you get paid quite a bit to be in the military. So you just had little cards that would have all your money on it. And you could also put money on what was called a cash card. I don't know if they still do those or not. And that would be kind of what these are for. And yeah, they had these in like spots like this, but during dry dock when we were stuck, just stuck. I don't even know how to explain it. We were in a dry dock for 16 months, like you saw earlier. There was like a section of them in the middle of the hangar bay. There was like 6. And that'd be like the spot during like breaks or whatever. Everyone would just meet there, grab their snacks. That's where I fell in love with hot Cheetos. I fell in love with hot Cheetos, dry dock, like 2014, because of these machines. So you know how vending machines work, but they were massive lifesavers on the ship.
Just a quick game.
I see that but I feel like I didn't see it.
What is this?
I really don't feel like that should have been that easy to see. I mean, there's people eating back there, but I feel like that mural was somewhere else. So he said here, I think he says here, chow sounds great. You cannot see my face at all. There I am. This is obviously the chow hall, chow area. If you don't know what chow means, for the love of God, it's the meals of the day, breakfast, lunch, dinner. And he's just too much in a hurry to eat. I have a whole lot of respect for the people that worked in that kitchen because it's a thankless job, more so in the military than anywhere else, in my opinion, like by miles. Because people always complained about the food, no matter what, and it's like, it's not the cook's fault. They're usually just handed boxes of crap and they just gotta make it, and they can make it their own. They can add like spices that the kitchen has, but man, people were not nice to the people in the kitchen. Now, I want to talk about this specifically. Because on more than one occasion, I would slip on the ladder well. That's what they're called. I almost said the stairs. The ladder wells. There were really steep metal steps. They felt like you were walking up an inclined ladder. They're not quite up like a stairwell, so that's why they're called ladder wells. And one time I actually really hurt myself not on a ladder well. The story I told everybody while my arm was in a sling for 15 days. My right arm, which is your saluting arm. I had to salute with my left arm for 15 days. It was so weird. And yes, that's how you're supposed to do it. If your arm is completely out of commission, you can salute with your left. I didn't even, I had to challenge an officer on that because they said that you're never supposed to salute with your left hand, at all. And I was like, actually, there's one occasion where you can. That wasn't fun, challenging an officer. But I told everyone I had fallen down a ladder well and I tore my shoulder. The truth was, while we were in dry dock, I was still kind of working in the laundry room and maintenance. Laundry was my first job. We'll talk about it. So on some nights, I'd have to go to this other ship. The smaller ship is where we did laundry because the laundry room was under maintenance. And I'd work there for a few hours. And I was always alone, so I was screwing around too much. And one time I screwed around a little too hard and fell and tried to catch myself. And my arm just went the way wrong way. And I tore my shoulder. It swelled up. My collarbone was poking out. It was bad. I never got it properly treated because it didn't completely separate. It just kind of tore some muscles. So they were like, there's not much we can do for you. So how about that? So I muted the TV for this one. This is what's called a Steel Beach Picnic. I know that guy. That's so funny. I immediately recognized him. Him and I were friends for a little while. But anyway, basically, because we were underway so much at this point during the summer, I think it was, obviously, Steel Beach, that we set up picnic tables and grills, and we had a Steel Beach picnic. That's what we called it. I think I know that person. I think I remember her. But yeah, it was fun. You know, you saw there was basketball hoops. There was other games you could play. There's speakers and stuff. They play music. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I just thought it was something cool I wanted to share with you guys. Just a Steel Beach picnic. And yeah, those little dance-offs and stuff. So we wouldn't forget how much fun it was. Speaking of people I know, I will mention this guy. This man's name is Arrington Jenkins, okay? He is a fantastic guitar player. Him and I became pretty good friends near the end. As you can see, they had a little band here that played. He's great. He's a good dude, and I don't know what he's doing nowadays. I haven't spoken to him in forever, but he's a cool guy. It was a fun experience, going outside as much as we could for the summer. Okay, last but certainly not least. We did something, and I see it's kind of cut off down here, but you can tell this is Christmas themed, right? In, what was this, 2015? Yes. We were getting ready to be on sea trials or whatever in December, around Christmas time. So we did the 12 days of a Stennis Christmas, where each department got to do their own thing, okay? We're going to just trust me on this. Okay, I'm going to regret this for the rest of my life because all my videos are public. And someday if this channel ever blows up, I'm going to do me reacting to me like I did. You know, I reacted to my first year videos. It'll happen every year, right? So I'm going to regret this for the rest of my life. But I mentioned that I was in laundry, right? For a long time. These are all my laundry people. There's laundry people, right? There's a guy back here. I don't know his name, but I'm hoping you guys can see his face. It isn't me. We'll get to me in a second, but you see he's making kind of like a creepy face. Him and I had both decided we make dumb faces. That's me. That is me. Zoom in on that. Look at that. Roast me for the rest of your life. My wife has never seen this before. She is losing her mind. But that is me. I had made a decision with the gentleman back there. I can't remember his name. And her name was Carmen, I think was her first name. The three of us had decided we'd make dumb faces. He wanted to make a creepy face. I wanted to make a creepy face, but he had taken kind of a creepy face thing. So I said I'd just make a really creepy smile. And then she just wanted to poke her head out like that. And voila. So yeah, again, this was my dumb face aside. This was my workspace. These are the dryers back here. Like these were the massive industrial dryers. It was the hottest place on earth. I'm just going to have my face is just going to be dark. Okay, I turned the brightness up a little bit. It'll stop. But anyway, yeah, so like all seriousness, it was super hot because of the dryers. The washers were a little smaller. They were still huge though. But I think that is it. It's really the only. That's the rest of it. Oh God, I lost the channel. Hold on. Yeah, you can literally just search USS John C. Stennis. Just search it, and there's a whole YouTube channel. There's the Mike Rome video. That's how I got here. Previously watched Steel Beach, all that. So that's it. Thank you everybody so much for watching this interesting little deep dive into my time in the military, reacting to these absolutely amazing videos on the Stennis channel. Go look at it. There's other videos on there. They had this thing called Studio 74 that was supposed to be like a weekly series or whatever. You can go check that out, see what that was like. That one video with Stennis Idol is like 15 minutes long. Again, I suggest checking all this out if you want to know more about life in the Navy and see how we try to have fun from time to time. If you want me to talk more about my personal experiences in the Navy, let me know down in the comments below. I'd be happy to talk about it. If I can talk over my daughter. I actually genuinely enjoy reliving this stuff sometimes because I really did enjoy my time there. It's just, after about 2.5, almost 3 years, I had decided I wanted to get out. And once I was out in 2016, I tried to run away from it all as fast as possible, which was a mistake. I'm now in an apartment because of the military. Like that, I'm getting veterans assistance to do this. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm sure some of y'all are wondering. I keep talking about how, oh, we're having, we don't have all the money in the world to do this. I can't buy these video games or buy these pay-per-views. And now we're suddenly living in a new apartment. So that's another reason I wanted to do this, to show my appreciation and have a little fun with you guys. Like I said, in the future, if you want to know more about my military experience, let me know. Also in the future, we will be doing reactions to Navy memes and videos and stuff, and I'll tell you guys some more fun stories. But until next time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. What do you guys want to see next? What do you think is going to be next? Are you looking forward to WrestlePalooza, which is the funniest wrestling pay-per-view name of all time? And let's all complain more about Saudi Mania, shall we? I'm still wearing my Nashville shirt. Until next time, this is JT Channel. I am JT, formerly known as, hold on. I think my job was a ship serviceman, and we'll see you in the next one.